Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Martin, and I'm part of Team KLAY. And welcome to our special Heart to Heart with Dads panel. We recently celebrated Father's Day, and we thought, isn't this a perfect time to just delve into the journey of fatherhood? Exploring the highs, the lows, and everything that lies in between. So today we've got together some incredible dads for you who are here to share their experiences, their insights, and of course, their best dad jokes. So, what do we have in store? An evening filled with laughter, touching stories, and some candid discussions on fatherhood about what it really means and how what does it mean to be a dad in today's world, right? I mean, we all know that it's not the same as during when we were children, right? So, okay, let me just start by introducing our amazing panel. First, we have Ankit. Ankit heads marketing for Tech Mahindra Global Chess League. He's also a serial entrepreneur in the space of sports marketing. Welcome to the panel, Ankit.
Thank you, Martin. Hi.
We also have on the panel Pranay. Pranay is a territory accounts manager for Cvent, and he's based in Delhi. Welcome, Pranay.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's our pleasure. But what's common amongst all of us? That we are all clay dads. So a warm welcome to all our amazing panel members. All right, Ankit and Pranay, we have a quick ice-breaking activity for both of you where you need to introduce yourself with your name, your child's name and age, and one goofy fact about yourself. Yeah, sounds simple, I guess. Are we ready? So
Yep.
let me start with Pranay.
Sure. So my name is Pranay. I work with Cvent. My daughter is just a little over 1 years old now, and her name is Gaia. We actually came up with that name, which is a contraction of my mom's name and my wife's mom's name, Gayatri and Sonia. So that's how we came up with that name.
I love the name. And one goofy fact about yourself.
Goofy fact. I guess I can make goosebumps appear on my body on control, so at will. So yeah, I guess that's a weird one for you.
That is definitely goofy, and I don't think any of us can beat that. But yeah, let's wait to hear from Ankit. Your turn, Ankit.
Hi, I'm Ankit. I head marketing for the Global Chess League. This is, uh,
Your child's name and age.
uh, my child is Amber. She's the one studying in Clay. She's 2 years old. I also have a second child who will hopefully come into Clay in about another 4 months. Uh, a goofy fact, I think, comes from fatherhood. You read about all the prodigies in the world. So, in the last 2 years, we have tried teaching her chess, piano, harmonica, and almost everything else. And it's been a learning as a father. Nothing works. So, let the
Wow.
child pick up what the child pick up.
So there's a lot of activity at your place at any
We
time,
keep
I
trying.
guess.
We keep trying. Something would
Yeah.
click.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So let me also do this as a part of this. My name is Martin. I work with Clay and I had business development with Clay. I have a 2.5-year-old. His name is Theodore, which means God's gift. We call him Theo, and everybody calls him Theo. I mean, sometimes when you call him Theodore, he's also wondering who are they calling. So he's so used to the shortened version. One goofy fact about me is that I'm an avid Lego fan, and I collect Legos, and I assemble Legos, and I already bought Theodore his first Lego set in the hope that he will also catch on to the habit. But I've not tried anything else apart from Lego with him, unlike Ankit, who's trying different activities with his daughter. Well, that was fun. Good to know you all a little better, and I'm sure our audiences are also enjoying knowing you better. Uh, Moving on now, you know, let's talk about fatherhood and what it means to each of us. Uh, you keep your pen and paper ready, and maybe you can describe what fatherhood means to you in one word through a picture. Yeah, for the audience, they already knew the question, so I'm assuming they will have something ready. Ankit, you're ready, you can go first.
Yeah, I went for something very simple. Uh, if this makes sense, it's a book. It's a book,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
I think the one word I would say is learning, because right from learning what it is to be a father to learning something new about yourself every day through the eyes of your child, I think the last 2 years have only been about that.
Absolutely, I completely agree, and I'm sure Pranay agrees too. And our audience will also resonate with that thought. It's been a, I think it's also been a journey of self-discovery for us as individuals, right? We never thought we were capable of certain things, and here we are. Pranay, over to you.
Yep, I think you almost hinted towards my word. I was going to say, if you can see that, transformation. So I think quite a lot of that you see in yourself, in your partner, your daily routine. You're also taking care of a newborn and then just trying to transform them to their best as well. So yeah, I guess that's the word for me.
No, I agree. And, I am really bad at art, so, but I'll still show what I made, and I don't know if it's visible. I tried to kind of keep it simple. It's an heart because I didn't know how to show unrequited love. Uh, I think after Theo was born, I never realized this concept. Till he was born, I never could relate to this concept of unrequited love, or something that you're not really expecting anything in return, and that's what Theodore has taught me. But appreciate your artwork, gentlemen.
Sorry, I
All
scared
right.
off a little bit. No art, but a word itself. So sorry about that.
The thought was conveyed, Pranay. All right. Making it a little bit more funnier or simpler or exciting, we have a few rapid fire questions for all of you. Now, don't worry, it's not related to not in nothing very complicated. It's something simple and something that's part of your everyday life, right? I have five set of questions for each one of you. I will start with Pranay. I will give you a situation, and you know, I will give you two options, and you need to tell me what is the option that you will choose. Sound simple?
Let's go for it.
All right. Pranay, what sounds like a movie night with your child? Animated movies or superhero movies?
I definitely go for animated, although we're still restricting Gaia's screen time. But I think if there was anything that we would show, it'll definitely probably a Pixar or a Disney movie, something on those lines.
Absolutely. No. So these questions could be today or in the future. So
Fair
just go
enough.
for it. What's your idea of quality time? Building forts or playing sports?
Mm, I think for right now, it'll probably be building forts. I think just seeing that creativity come out, that'll be most interesting for me.
Right. And third question, what's better, changing diapers or cleaning vomit?
Uh, that's a tough one. Done a bit of both, but I guess diapers, I think I've come up with my own way of doing that, and then I've done quite a lot of it. So yeah, I guess between the two, that'll be my pick.
I agree. I think changing diapers is definitely the easier one too. Okay, the last one, sorry, the fourth one. What does discipline mean? Raising your voice or silent treatment?
Mm, I think neither. I wouldn't go with either. I think you have to really find a balance between the two. I don't think raising voices really gets the job done, but I think explaining why that isn't right and then what you expect instead, I think that would be a better way of disciplining someone when it comes to that.
All right. Last one. Mealtime hack. Would you hide veggies in other foods, or you make them finish their veggies before anything else?
Yep, I think the latter. That's what I did as a kid as well. That if you don't like something, get it over with first. So I think that'll be the hack that I choose to pass on as well.
I agree. But the flip side to it is when you're visiting guests, when you're visiting as a guest to somebody else's house, the host takes it as that, you love it. And then they keep serving you, right? You've heard that anecdote, maybe, surely. All right, that was fun. Ankit, over to you. Are you ready?
Yes,
Okay. Question number one. Your child wants to quit an activity they signed up for. Would you let them sit out, or would you make them see it through?
I would make them do it for a few weeks, and then if they still don't get into it, I'll probably let them drop out.
When I was reading out this first question, I just realized it just turns out to be apt for Ankit as he's trying
Yes,
different activities.
yes.
Okay, what looks like a Friday night? Letting your child stay up late or enforcing an early bedtime?
Friday night is allowing her to stay up late.
It's getting late for bed, and there's a lot of homework assignments that's pending. Would you help them with the homework, or would you let them figure it out themselves and teach them time management?
It would be a bit of both. Probably could also come down to my mood. But on days when I think she should probably learn how to fail or how to figure things out herself, I let her be. But on most days, I would help her out.
That's really interesting because I've spoken to a lot of dads in my circle as well, and I've observed when you're out and you're meeting friends, and nowadays it's all play dates, and I've observed that a lot of parents tend to just want to help the child, and
Right,
you know it's that instinct that comes in, and I've also done that.
right.
I am slowly understanding the importance of letting Theo figure it out himself sometimes,
So I
and
learned this from an aunt when my cousin was growing up. After a certain age, she stopped waking him up in the morning for school and said, "Let him figure out himself when he's late for the bus." And it took a few
wow.
months, but he figured out.
Okay, that was I think a little bit extreme, but sure, whatever works, right? Okay. Fourth question: if you had to make peace between your choice and your child's choice, what would it be? Your choice being playing outside, and your child's choice being playing video games.
I've actually worked in the video gaming industry, so I'm not anti-video game at all. Uh, but if it's between my choice and her choice, again, I think has to be a 50-50. I have to be kind to her, and she needs to understand that, sometimes decisions always don't always go your way.
But does she negotiate with you?
No, she whines, she cries, she brings the house down.
Okay. I
Yes,
guess that's their way of negotiating, I guess.
yes.
The last question: Daddy's day with children. What would you choose? Ice cream or broccoli?
I want to say broccoli, but for the last year or so, it's been more ice cream than broccoli.
Okay. Pranay is too early to answer that one for sure. Okay, that was fun and some great insights, I would say. You know, uh, I would like to get into a little bit more serious dad stuff or dad talk. And Pranay, I would like to start with you. Have you had to make compromises in your career to family first? And how do you balance career goals and family time every day?
Interesting. I think compromise is a bit of a strong word. I think obviously we all try and find out how to really find that work-life balance. You know what we talk about very often. So I think obviously fatherhood, I'd say, adds a layer of complexity, and then I think that's what we sort of learn, that okay, how do you balance both things? I mean, you obviously work to be able to provide for your family, make sure they get everything that they need. So you don't want to skimp out there. You can't be losing out on that front, because the other also gets affected. So I think that's been a pretty interesting journey for me. I think the last 1.5 years, just figuring that out. So yes, definitely there are things to learn, and I think it's onto the individual how you really find that balance that neither suffers, and then neither do you yourself.
Perfect. And maybe a follow-up question. I mean, is it, are you able to find time for your child every day? Balance your work and family time on a daily basis? Because I also try make it a point to do that, but there are days when I'm not able to. So this is a very
Yes, I
personal question, I guess.
luckily I think again, knock on wood, the company that I work for, that affords me the time to be able to do that kind of stuff. So as much as I can, I'm definitely doing that.
Right. Oh, that's good to know. I mean, and yeah, I mean, we all just kind of learn to work around it. I think that's the right way to say it, I guess, or the right interpretation of it, I would say. Right. Ankit, how would you describe your parenting style, and what efforts do you make to be a fully present parent?
Um, so I wouldn't say. I mean, I'm definitely hands-on, but I'm also, a step back. So let her make mistakes, let her figure things out herself, let her learn to tinker, and find what the world is like. So that is my fatherhood style, if I had to put it in those words. What was the follow-up question?
The second part was, what efforts do you make to be fully present?
So, I mean, I do keep an eye out on everything she's doing. I strongly believe that, I have to make each and every second that she's within my sight a memorable one, and like be fully present in terms of learning, looking, understanding what she's doing and how she's behaving. So I don't even like uh, think of taking pictures of her like when she's doing something, or like she's doing something very fresh or new or innovative. I just want to be in the moment at all the times, right? I want to have those memories rather than just trying to capture everything. And it drives my parents mad because they're like, "Oh, send us her pictures, the whole family." And it's just something I don't enjoy doing. I would rather just sit there and be a part of her life in terms of interactions.
So I kind of resonate with that. I also have this problem again. Uh, my parents are away, so there's always this constant demand for videos and photographs, and and like you rightly said, it's very important to be present in the moment, and sometimes we just get carried away capturing those moments that we kind of lose the essence of the moment there.
Yeah,
Again, I also kind of I am from that school of thought like yours.
right, nice.
uh, Pranay, does your fatherhood differ from you, how you were you know parented, or how you were brought up, and what according to you could be some of the traditionally masculine norms you've discarded as a modern dad?
So I think I might be a little unique in this case, because I grew up in a army household. My father's a retired army officer right now, so I think that varies from your typical upbringing. But yes, I think at the foundational level, things remain the same. That you want to give your child the freedom to really explore, learn new things, probably afford them more opportunities than what even you've had. So I think slight differences. Obviously, I'm just a little over more than 1 year old in this journey as well. So definitely a long way to go ahead. But yes, I think there are certain similarities, and of course, nothing to compare to a life in the army. With my father being away for some time, and yet being able to still have that value in my life as well. I think that was a pretty tough act to follow up on. So luckily, that's not something I have to do, at least not yet. And I think the second part to your question, that okay, what different perceptions? I think I remember hearing about this from my grandmother, and she saw me how I was handling my daughter, and I think she was quite happy to see how hands-on I was as well. And I remember her telling me that in their day, for the dad to be picking up the child or whatever, that was considered to be almost blasphemous. Like, oh my God, what? Why aren't the women folk around to be able to do that kind of thing? So I think it's obviously a good change to see here, and I enjoy that myself as well. So I think interesting, sometimes funny perceptions of the same objective being done, but slightly different approach to it. So
All right. Just a follow-up question. Did you always think, you know, you always had and maybe had an idea of what kind of dad you would want to be for your kiddo? And do you think you're, how do I say? I mean, is it matching those expectations? Like
little bit.
you would have had an image of you, right?
I
And
know,
how
I know
you
what you
want
mean. Yes, I think there's definitely a lot that I've carried forward, but added on my own spin to it as well. That okay, I think I'd like to do this slightly differently. So yes, again, figuring that stuff out. I think I'm still yet to see the results of that. So maybe in the next edition that we do of this, you might get an update then.
to. All right. Ankit, just a follow through on this with you. Have you, I mean, once you became a dad, did you really surprise yourself thinking that, oh, I could do this as well as a father? And is there something like that you felt?
Uh, it turned out to be much easier than what I was scared about. It just things just started happening naturally, and like so, you're very tense before you become a father. Actually, I mean, I won't say tense. You're just unsure, but things just fall into place. Just to add some flavor to this conversation. So I also come from, like, my father's also an army dad, so
Oh,
I can
what a
relate with what
coincidence. We have two army
with
boys here.
what yeah, with what Pranay is saying. One thing for sure, when I became a dad after the first few weeks, I certainly started appreciating my father more because he would have gone through the same things that I did.
No,
And
that
tougher
is
as well.
true.
Like I said, to be away for a little while, and despite wanting
Yeah.
to do it, and here you're out serving the country. No small feat.
Absolutely. Absolute respect to that. I mean, you do that and then you come home and then you want to maximize your time with your children, that annual vacation that you're here. And yes, I mean, absolutely. That's a great point. But very true. Like, I think we just hype it in our head a lot. At least I was also hyped about it. Uh, I wouldn't say it was completely easy, but I think could figure it out as the journey went by. I mean, is that relatable as a statement? Like, and as every step, as Theo grew and as every month passed by, I felt that okay, when you look back, like yes, there were tough moments, but then we kind of saw it through, me and my wife, and because I think most of us primarily are, just the two, uh, the husband and wife taking care of the child, right? And so, but yeah, it's been a fun journey. Um, yeah, I think Ankit, what kind of a dad are you? Are you a vulnerable dad? And how do you try to model and teach emotional awareness or emotional regulation to your kids?
So I don't understand the meaning of like vulnerable as a father, but uh, by the dictionary meaning, yeah, I mean every parent would be vulnerable to certain facets of parenthood. Uh, but I'm not easily affected by like minor things, like if the child is sick, if the child is like child trips, I've learned to like you learn in a few days that okay, all of this is normal, right? After the first two emergency visits, the doctor drills it into your head. You don't have to come to an emergency every time, right? Luckily, I don't know. I'm probably luckier than Pranay. My first kid was born just after actually during the pandemic. So there was a lot of doctors were available on call because not a lot of people were going into hospitals, right? The ecosystem had become more sensitive to things like childcare, things to parenthood. Everyone was inside the house, so that was fine. Uh, so my style of parenthood. What was the question? Specific question on that?
Around how do you
Yes.
try and model and teach your
So
kids
my
emotional.
child, my older child is specifically in that age group where she's learning about
Right.
emotions and good things and bad things. Um, so I think it's just simple. At the end of every action that you think she deserves to have a talk on, uh, ask her questions like, "Why would you do this?" or "Do you understand what you're doing?" Even in some of the most exciting parts. One of the things I think my wife taught me really well, or told me to do really well, is like even when you're watching TV, describe to her what you're watching on TV. Right? Let every occasion be learning. She could learn about you. She could learn about things you like, uh, and then have the same expectations. Expect you to be able to ask her things that she's doing and she's taking an interest in. Uh, so that kind of just opens up channels of communication, right? And then it probably makes it easier for me to explain something to her that perhaps in another verse of life or phase of life would be done in not an easy way, right? I don't think 20 years ago or 30 years ago kids were exposed to the amount of communication they are today. uh, as a child grows up, I mean, we have to give in, right? So they would have 50 sources to learn about things. So this is the time where we can mold them to actually start believing in the way we see things, and then let them just learn from the world.
Great approach, and I think I'm gonna pick up a few points out of your playbook and use it as well. But and that's quite insightful, honestly. Your approach, and no, thanks for sharing that. But the thing is, and and what is the role? And this is to both you gentlemen, and it's little off. And what has been the role of your partner, your spouse, and your extended family in bringing up your child? Uh, has it, uh, you know, has it only been you and your partner, or has it been extended family? And what is the impact your child it has been on your child? For example, uh, I'm going through a phase where I had my child had his grandparents come in and are staying with us right now, and this is the first time where, like, when he was a baby it's different, right? And now when he's aware and he's a toddler, when he's questioning and he's talking a lot, and I can see the difference in him when he's interacting with his grandparents. And he's more excited, like more people to meet and more people to talk at home. So, have you seen that kind of dynamics at home when you have extended family, and how has it been? I mean, any one of you could go first, Pranay or Ankit.
So I'll
Yeah,
go
Ankit,
first.
please. Yeah.
I've lived away from my family since I turned 17. Right, I went to hostel for college and then stayed away. So I come from a mindset. So I've tried to make my entire life, my house, everything about my comfort ever since. So I've not lived with my parents since. So when the child actually happened, uh, I mean, my mother or my wife's mother alternately took turns to stay at the house. Sometimes everyone was at home for like 6, 7 hours a day, and it did drive me mad because I'm not used to more than a few minutes of interaction with outside of my physical comfort. Uh, so that I did have to lose out on that space, but at the same time, a pediatrician friend told me that at an early age, the more your child has interactions, with people apart from the two of you, the more social your child will be as she grows up. So it's not just our parents, but even extended families and friends, right? So they've all been supportive. Um, one of one of the key learnings was like you really find out who your best friends and family mates are in this time. The ones who try to give you excessive gyan are probably not, or like try to show off how good their kids are or were, are probably not people you want to spend a lot of time with. Spend time with people who want to spend time with your kids, right? Just interaction, just people who want to do heart to heart stuff. That is one. And the other important aspect of having an extended family and friends is it does. I've seen a lot of my friends go through really terrible mental states of mind because their entire lives become about kids. So as a couple, they lose out on a lot of time for each other. So that's where the extended family has definitely helped. It's allowed me and my wife to have a lot of time together.
All right. Thanks for that, Ankit. Pranay, what about you?
Slightly similar. I mean, similar but slight differences. Again, I think for the initial 1 or 2 months, yes, we were at my in-laws' place, and they were obviously lending us a hand. But everything after that was just the two of us. So we've done all the heavy lifting, and I think to a previous question, that you asked as well, how was that journey different? This was a pretty big one that we didn't have. A big family, around to help you out for the initial few months. I think just doing that yourself, it's definitely a lot of hard work, a lot of times where you pull your hair out as well. But I think to be able to overcome that together, I think and get through that challenge together, I think that's brought me and my partner much closer as well. So I think definitely slight difference from what we've seen earlier in the past, and then some interesting things to take away from it as well.
But it's interesting that you brought that up. That how our dynamics with our partners have changed in some way or the other, right? After our our children or our child has come into our lives. So okay, last question: what do you guys do for a timeout? I mean, do you take a timeout from fatherhood, and do you get like a pass monthly, one weekend or a one evening out kind of a pass, or how does it work? What do you do to kind of unwind? And yeah, I get
I
a
think that's very
hall
hard
pass.
to schedule or plan out that, hey, it's going to be a Friday or a Saturday. I think whenever my daughter's asleep, just having a nap, I think even those 60 minutes, 90 minutes, just to be able to unwind and talk to each other, just check in what's happening. I think even that is good breather every now and then. So as frequently as
Yeah.
we can do it, we definitely try to.
All right. That's great. Ankit, what about you?
So luckily, I'm a very early morning waker, and
Uh,
my alarm clock licks my feet. My dog is my alarm clock. So I actually get up sometimes on my own at around 4:30 or 5:30 in the morning. So those 3 or 4 hours are like exclusively mine. Uh, so that's definitely like some time out I get every day. But I think Pranay would also relate, right? So we're both involved dads. Uh, so when, at least for me, when I need a time out, like when I need to go out with my friends or like just go and watch a cricket match in a stadium by myself, my wife understands, right? She knows that, and it works vice versa. So both of us respect that. We're putting in the hard hours. So whenever we've earned something, we just give each other the time and space.
yeah, I think the role of our partners is quite important that way, right? To be understanding
Yes.
and to be in sync with our plans. I hope my partner's hearing this and she remembers my Saturday night plans this weekend. But great conversation with both Pranay and Ankit, and thank you so much for some lovely insights and some really unique approaches as well. And I'm sure not just me and all our listeners would have really thoroughly enjoyed this interaction. And I hope you both enjoyed this as well. But thank you so much for your time today with us. And I know working parents, Friday evening, taking time out. So we truly appreciate that. So with that, we wrap up our Heart to Heart with Dads panel. And again, thank you to our panelists for their time, their honesty, and their heartfelt insights. To all the dads out there, whether you're just starting this journey or a seasoned pro, remember that your presence and love makes a whole lot of difference at home. So thank you once again, and thank you all for joining the session. Have
Thanks,
a lovely
Martin.
day.
Nice to meet you
Thank
again.
you, Martin. Likewise, Pranay. Take
Cheers.
care.